Last week on Tim's Corner Live. This has been fun here this evening. Good luck Sunday. Thank you for being a part of this deal. And tell the girls when they win on Sunday, we'll have them on the show next Wednesday. How about that?
Oh, they're all mad because I got to go on first. And I'm like, well, I'm kingpin. You got to wait until he goes first.
So I guess we'll dangle the carrot in front of them for Sunday for Wednesday, right?
That's right. You got to give them some incentive.
Thanks.
Welcome back, race fans, to the only racing going on in Nova Scotia, the Dewey Cup, featuring Ryan Blaney, Dale Jr., old Alex Bowman, old Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, and Chase Elliott too. Okay, whoever makes it further, who gets pushed by Dewey, wins. And Ryan Blaney's already got the lead out front of the rest rest of the competition, Dewey's sizing everything up as the camera's going out of focus. He's got a hand on Blaney. Wait, Blaney's going back now. Now he's pushing. Oh, Blaney hits the wall. But now who's Dewey going to push? So far, no one has taken the lead. He's only picking on Ryan Blaney at the moment. Now he's yawning. He's just playing with the number 12 car. We got to get his attention to try and push the other ones. He's attracted to the Pennzoil Menards machine. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Now he's wrestling the number 12. Meanwhile, the rest of the competition's waiting to get a push. And I think Dewey's given up. He's stretching now. What a heartbreak for Ryan Blaney, but no one here has been moving. We're trying to get the show going. In fact, we're going to call this a red flag here.
Welcome in to Tim's Corner Live, episode number 16. Tim Terry, Denver Match at Dylan Angel. We've had some fun already tonight. We haven't even been on the air. This has been great. Dylan, is Ryan okay?
He's in the hospital, but I heard from the medical staff he's doing fine. He should be at COTA this weekend.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Denver, welcome in. You had a busy weekend. Me and Dylan had a busy weekend. We watched over. What did you do?
Oh, well, Tim, I went to racetracks and I did the Tour de la Province de New Brunswick on the weekend going from Miramichi to Fredericton. So got to watch lots of good racing and, start off the 2021 season.
Yeah, it was a great start. You can watch all those races, shameless plug, on timscorner.tv. We hope to have a couple of more announcements coming up in the next couple of days regarding the next couple of weeks here on Tim's Corner TV. You're going to want to tell you. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be exciting. But we've got a jam-packed show coming up. We're live and interactive on the Speedway Miramichi and the Tim's Corner Motorsports Facebook page. Dylan, we had last week, we had a problem with 660, and apparently 660 is still broke. So I don't know what Facebook's doing to try to cross-post that deal, but we'll try to get it up there as well. We've got a couple of big 660 guests, and Alexandra Oblinus, Ryan Messer coming up as well, and Johnathan Dickson. So, Dylan, you're going to be on your toes tonight, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. And and you forgot to mention, Tim, the owner of Dover Motor Speedway.
So how did you enjoy your race on the weekend?
I'm kind of looking forward to Nashville.
Okay, you're not even looking forward to COTA? It's an SMI track, right?
Well, of course, I don't have a share of COTA. That's privately owned. I own the publicly traded tracks, but it was an all right race. I wish it could have been in Fredericton Geary for the 660 race. Got to watch the Miramichi race on Saturday. That was pretty cool. Drinking beer on my patio, watching everyone do everything, and watching Johnathan Dickson flip. I almost spilled my beer when that happened, so we'll get the full story from him in a bit. But we are interactive. Leave a comment, whether it's on Tim's Corner, Speedway 660, once we get it working, and Speedway Miramichi. We got 3 great guests coming up tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun afternoon, fun evening, and want to thank the crew that put it on in Denver. I know you were responsible for kind of helping putting together the crew this week. Steve Austin did a phenomenal job. His first time in Miramichi. Was great. Nick Kane was on the box. Great to have him on first time for Tim's Corner TV. John Forsyth obviously is amazing at doing camera. Matt Marr joined us for the first time as well. Meredith, Brittany said she was doing more. She's running for your title because she said she's the best flag person in Atlantic Canada right now.
I thought she was the best flag girl in Atlantic
Flag
Canada.
girl, flag person.
Well,
she's still holding flags, right?
Well, apparently, but she left halfway through to go drive a demo car, and so
she didn't drive it. She didn't drive it very well either. Let's be honest.
Say, I hope she's watching, so maybe she can drop a comment letting us know how the Powder Puff race went for her. But we like to have some fun.
Sure, my phone will light up at some point. It's going to be a fun night. We got some great guests coming up, so let's get to it. We'll start with the driver of the number 1 car, the Remax East Coast Elite Realty 75 winner for Speedway 660 on the weekend. It is Ryan Messer, and we'll just get the couple of extra steps out of the way by Dylan. Hello, Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So I guess let's start with what happened on Sunday. 11 cars in that race. The borders aren't open. It was kind of a weird pro stock sort of feel. For us in Nova Scotia, we didn't get there. So how was it at the racetrack with the borders closed? And did it feel any different being in a pro stock?
Yeah, a little bit. Coming from last season where we had like 20 cars or more pretty near every race. Like that seemed to really draw everybody out, want to go racing. Everybody was amped up and ready to go. And I mean, I think it was a pretty good count, given the circumstances of the borders being closed, and it was still an awesome race. And no, it was a good weekend all around.
We are live and interactive with Ryan Messer. Be sure to drop us a question in the comment. We'll get Dylan Angelo on the case here this evening. Let's talk about that race, because the first half, 52 laps, caution free, and you kind of was able to get the lead early and then kind of ran away from what happened in behind you. What were you thinking when that caution came out? It kind of bunched the field up a little bit.
First thing I thought was that was not what I wanted at all, or what I didn't need. I knew the car was good right off the start. I didn't really know how good, but I knew I stayed on Ashton and Dave pretty good and managed to keep Ashton up on the outside and got second. And I said, well, I'll ride behind Dave for a while. And then just in those couple laps, I seen how good the car really was. So I said, well, I'll see if I can grab it and see what I can do. And within a couple laps, I was able to get up past Dave for the lead and started to pull away. And I said, they're going to be saving a little bit. So, but there's a good chance with only 11 or 12 cars that there's a good chance the thing could go green the whole way. So I wanted to at least get out to a comfortable lead and then worry about saving something for the end, because these tires, once you get 50 laps on them, you really got to be careful. So right around lap 52 when that happened, that wasn't what I wanted a bit, because I wasn't sure if I quite saved enough compared to them, and then off that restart, the car was just picked right up where it left off. It was awesome.
Dave was on the show last week, and you could tell he was determined after all the laps he led in the 250, and then what happened with the lap car. And he starts right side by side with you, and he put up a fight for a few laps. Talk about that battle between you and the 48, because he didn't let you have it easy.
No, he never does. That's not the first side by side battle that I've had with him, and it's always a nail biter, and it's a lot of fun racing side by side with him. I had him off the restart a little bit, and he's so friggin' good at being able to put the bumper to you off four, and you'll just think that you got loose. Like, you won't even know he's done it, and then you look in the mirror and that yellow hood's going by you, so you got to really watch him. But no, I knew as soon as he got up to the outside, I said, well, the outside hasn't been that great today, but I gave it a shot, and the car just stuck like better than it had all day. So I was like, well, I gotta give it my best here, and we were able to come back around them. And I think it was pretty near 10 laps we went side by side. So I think it was a good show for the fans, and the car was hooked up.
Now, you picked up a weekly victory here a year and a half ago at 660, but these big races, it seems like ever since that 250 win, it's kind of been the Achilles heel. Bad luck in the 250 in Halifax, a couple of tour races that you were running up front and should have had a top 5 finish, and it ended up not going your way. How big of a relief is this, and to kind of get that bad luck monkey off your back in these big extended distance races?
It definitely is a bit of a monkey off my back. Last year was didn't have very much luck at all. We did get a weekly feature win at 660, but all the bigger races at like Petty and the one in Shediac at the end of the year, we'd have a good car. It just we couldn't seem to really make it last, or something would happen, something would break. It just was one of those years. I mean, you have a stretch of 3 or 4 good years, and then you're always due for a bad one at some point. And I think that was maybe just my turn. And then this year is off to a good start, knock on wood. So hopefully we can keep the momentum going. And with our first run in the new car, I have high hopes for good results like that the rest of the year.
Let's chat about that new car, because I know Jeff and CRF and those guys have been instrumental in putting that race car together, along with you guys, because I know you guys do a lot of hard work in the shop. We did the shop stop there a couple of years ago. Talk about how that deal all came together over the winter to eventually put it into Riverview Ford Lincoln Victory Lane.
The car that say I drove this past weekend, it is an older car, and it is a former Oblinus car. I mean, it's 10, 11 years old now. I mean, a car from back then and then a car that would have been built this year, I mean, they're obviously going to be different. They're building them better, lighter every single year. So we just felt like there's no way we weren't really fighting that little bit of a down, like an uphill battle. And then we also made the deal with Andy Fox to drive one of his cars. And that was a different car again, a little bit newer and a different chassis. So we just kind of felt that after last year, that was also part of the battle, was going back and forth between two cars, because we'd have one car for certain tracks and then another car for the other tracks, so we wouldn't have to really bounce back and forth between them. We could just keep them the same. But now that this year that they're both the same, we'll be able to, won't have to, like they'll be closer together, so it'll be not such a jump going back and forth. And talking to Jeff Armstrong at GD Fabrication Race Cars, it seemed like it was going to be the best option. And it's been great so far working with those guys and the CRF chassis. It's unlike anything I've ever driven.
You kind of mentioned this 2021 season, and I don't think really at this point anybody knows what's going to go on. Borders being closed, and the Tour postponed their first two races, and June kind of looks a little doom and gloom as well. There is a pro stock race scheduled for June 5 at Petty Raceway. Didn't get a hold of Wayne to try to confirm whether that's happening before the show or not tonight. But what do you foresee? Like if we get back to racing in July and we start to see some tour racing, we start to see the MB Pro Stock Series come back. What's kind of on your radar to hit this year?
We're gonna try and hit probably all the petty races, whether it's a tour race or the open races that they've been having. They've been a great hit. And after last year, Petty is the one that I really want to try and get down pat. Like that place has haunted me for the last couple of years now. Just try to learn it better, get our package better for there. It's a great track. It just I haven't nailed it down yet. We'd love to go. Like we planned this year to run the IWK 250. I've went there 3 or 4 times now to watch the race, and it's been a bucket list. Just it's a lot of tires and all that, a lot of money to go there. So this year we were going to make it a goal to make it there. Whether that happens or not now, hopefully. I mean, with all the COVID rules, I feel like it was a pretty good. It worked out good this past weekend, with all the protocols and all that. So hopefully we can keep doing the sport we love and get some racing in.
We are live and interactive here this evening with Ryan Messer, and I know, Dylan, there's been a lot of congratulation comments so far in the
doing a
online and all that. That's just only growing the fan base for the sport. So no, it's awesome to have all these people like that behind me.
And speaking of behind you, you had two maritime racing legends behind you on Sunday with David Blinas and Lonnie Somerville, two guys who have been around the track a couple of times, just to put it lightly there. How does it feel that you beat two of the best in pro stock racing in New Brunswick on Sunday?
It feels pretty awesome. They've both been racing a long time, raced a lot of races, different kind of cars. I mean, they're the best of the best of this sport, and they're the kind of guys back when I raced sportsmen, and they'd come out of the pro stocks and they'd race a sportsman race. Say it's the Firecracker 150 or on Speed Weekend, and those are the guys I'd always try to see. While those guys are in those races, what can I learn from them to progress me as a driver? And following those two, I've learned a ton, and I still continue to do that. I follow those guys and I see, well, where are they beating me, or where am I beating them? So I try to use those to progress my driving, and no, they're always awesome to race against.
Who would have been your racing heroes growing up, Ryan?
Some of my racing heroes would have been the local guys. I mean, Bradley Logan was always my favorite. He raced sportsman, and he's from 5 minutes down the road from me. So I'd have to say he's probably my favorite.
Well, that's all we got right now on social media. Well, actually, no, just sliding in here as we finish that up, talking about favorite drivers. Brent Patterson, big fan of yours. He's wondering who's your favorite NASCAR driver, so that could be past or present.
And my favorite NASCAR driver, well, I mean, I don't follow it too closely now. I've always been a Kevin Harvick fan. Don't make fun of me for that, but no, I've always kind of liked his driving and liked him as a driver.
And that's all we got for now. So feel free to leave a question for Ryan. We'll get it on here, whether you're watching on TCM on Facebook, Speedway Miramichi, or if we're on 660, leave it there on 660 as well.
We're trying to get that working. Facebook, when it wants to work, is great. I want to kind of add to what Dylan was talking about, though. We're seeing some B-roll on the screen of the Cat 250 in Halifax a couple of years ago, and that you're on row number 2 when you start that race, and you've got Marty Prevost, Donald Chisholm on the front row. You got John Fleming and Sean Turple, I think, right behind you. You got some racing legends that are around there, at least on the tour side of things. Has there been any of those races that you've kind of lined up in the last couple of years and seen maybe a John Fleming or one of those guys and said, hey, it's kind of cool that I'm on the same racetrack with them?
Yeah, last year at the Cat, or a couple of years ago at the Cat 250, there was just the competition was crazy. I mean, you got the John Flemings, the Cassius Clarks, the Cole Butchers, like the best and the best were there, and be able to start on the second row, whatever it was pretty cool. I was a little bit nervous, just being where it was only the second or third time that I had been there. I mean, it was a tough track. In practice, I felt like I was an absolute weapon, and like just because the track is tough, it's rough, it's my favorite track to drive on right now. I wish I'd go back there tomorrow just to get a race in on it. When our car has been pretty good there anytime that we've been there, and now with our new cars now, I feel like we could probably have a pretty good piece to go there.
I want to kind of look back because you got that started in Bandoleros, at least on the stock car side of things. And that's the big step in Nova Scotia. Your Dylan Blankhorns, your Cole Butchers, your Jared Butchers. It kind of came in 2009, 2010 in Fredericton where you had that boom. And you see those kids come through the ranks, the Dana Hams, the Cole Boudreaux, kind of moved on from things. But how cool was it to be a part of that first group in New Brunswick to really get those Bandoleros and get those 15, 20, 25 cars that you guys had when you started?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was part of the 8 of us, I think, that started back in 2010. And I mean, I think it was a big hit ever since we started. And then the second year in 2011, that was the year we had 25 cars every week, either at Petty or that was the year that Petty, I think, was starting back up, and we had good counts there too. But it'd be awesome to see that again someday. I mean, I know the bandos have died down a little bit since then. But no, back then that was where a lot of drivers that are still in it today really got their start, and we've all learned a lot from it. And no, it was a lot of fun back then.
With these kids that are moving up, Scotia still has a great concentration of Bandoleros. There's still a few in the province of New Brunswick. There's a couple in PEI, and I know Eastbound Park is starting up this weekend, and they've got a couple of really good young kids over there that are racing Bandoleros. You were in their shoes a couple of years ago. Now you're winning Pro Stock 250s in these big races. What kind of advice can you give to those kids that are just starting out and maybe looking up to you saying, I want to be the next Ryan Messer?
The bandos are definitely going to teach you everything you really know. For jumping, you need to know for jumping up into these bigger cars. I mean, yeah, you're going to have the more car around you, the more power, all that, but that's going to all come to you a lot more naturally. Like you're not going to look out the window saying, "Holy, look how fast I'm going." You're going to know how to focus in, hit your marks. You're going to know how to do all that kind of stuff, and that's what the bandos taught me. I mean, right after Bandoleros, I went to the Atlantic Modifieds, which really gave me the big car feeling. I mean, they got lots of grip, they're fast, so that prepared me for like the full bodied cars.
And
So yeah,
with with that modified, you had a lot of success in that, and I think that car kind of went down the road because Justin Beers won a championship in that thing too. But usually, Dave talked about it last week with the girls, and Frank Frazier had told them go to street stock. What was the thought behind moving to the modified as maybe opposed to a street stock or a sportsman at the time?
Well, the only real reason was just we thought it would be a better car to learn in. Well, the car was kind of a surprise to me. I mean, I walked in the shop one night and there it was, and then Dad said this is our new project, and we went at it building it for about 2 winters after that before we had it ready. Uh, it seemed like a better car to learn in for me. I mean, you got the pro stock tires, a little bit smaller motor, but it's a full size car. And then just the group of guys that I'd be racing against. I mean, it was awesome to race with those guys. They're all clean, and I was in a little bit of an accident up in Miramichi, and I think at least someone from all the crews pretty near were there trying to throw the thing back together. It was like second last race. I was trying to win the championship, and there was crew guys from every team there trying to get me back out, and I did get back out and I finished the race. Stuff like that is pretty awesome, and there was a lot of that with those guys.
And I think still can be the same said with those modified guys. We're going to talk a little more modifieds later on in the show because they are opening their season this weekend at Petty International Raceway. We're live and interactive. Drop us a comment, drop us a question down there for Ryan Messer, and we'll get it on the show. But before we get back to Dylan Langell, Denver, I know your wheels are turning over there. You were there on Sunday. What do you got for Ryan Messer?
Well, Ryan, I want to talk about this first. And, we've seen you win a lot of races. But it always seems, with your 250 win, the Speed Weekend, Sportsman 150 win, you just kind of bide your time. And at the end of the race, you're there, you pounce it, and you sneak away with the victory. But that wasn't the case on Sunday. You dominated that race. And I know Dave gave you a bit of a challenge on that late race restart, but that's not something we've typically seen out of you. So how cool was that to just be upfront and, for those first 52 laps, you were whooping the field?
Yeah, that was kind of the thing that was a little bit of more of like a shock to me. Like it seems like for the bigger races, I do better with duct tape on the car for some reason. Like if it's all beat to pieces, that's when I'm fast. So I mean to go out just right at fire out of the gate, get to the lead, and pull a straightaway lead, and just that kind of a run. I mean I haven't done that many times really. Just we had that good of a car. It stayed consistent. It lasted the whole race. I mean, I had almost the car I had at the end as I did when I started, and I mean that's pretty hard to come by in a race car, really.
Yeah, and it really looked like it was a dream to drive. I want to talk a bit about your pit crew, because I know you have a small team, a family team. Tell us a bit about the crew and everyone that made that happen, because you guys are a pretty close bunch.
Yeah, we're all a family team. My mom and dad, first and foremost, all that they do. I mean, I just got done doing school and I got a real busy job. I work overtime quite a bit. And no matter the circumstances, my mom and dad always make sure the cars are ready to go to the racetrack every weekend and compete for wins. And it wouldn't all be possible without them. I can't thank them enough. I got to thank my grandparents. They're always making it out to the races, helping wherever need be. I got to thank my other crew members, George and Jackson. A huge thank you to my girlfriend Camden for letting me do this. Just everybody that supports me and helps me do the sport that I love.
So as a small team, and I know we didn't get to see the full field of pro stocks we're used to with the borders closed, but to be out competing with some teams that, when you're running on a smaller budget and small, everything's smaller. What's it like out there competing with all those big names and running with them and being competitive against them?
It feels pretty good. I mean, you get these bigger races like the 250, and then there's 30 cars there. To definitely run good against like the caliber of cars that go to those races, it's just crazy. And to be able to be competitive at races like that is pretty special for a little team like ours.
So before I throw it over to Dylan, I got a question for you, because I know it's always been a tradition with your grandparents. Every time you've won a race, the checkered flag went out at the end of the road. So was that checkered flag out at the end of the road Monday for everyone that was driving through Harvey to see?
Yes, it is, and it's still out there.
Dylan, what do you got on social?
Well, Ryan, Camden actually wrote a question in there. What's your favorite racetrack food?
Racetrack food, jumpins. I don't eat a whole lot of racetrack food. Usually mom's in the trailer and always making good meals and stuff down there for the whole team. So I definitely have to thank her for that. Favorite meals they used to be the freezies from the any racetrack really. The great big jumbo freezies.
Mm-hmm.
Those were always my favorite. You would see me put 4 of those back in a day. Back when I used to race bando, I don't do that quite anymore. But
Well, we heard drivers like Dylan Blankhorn talk about certain rituals. He was pounding back the roll aids or
Travel.
gravel. Is there anything that you do to get in the zone before race day? Any rituals on race day?
not really. I used to always not be sick, but just like, my stomach would be all cramped up. I mean, that was back in around bandos and stuff. And just once I raced the sportsman car for a little bit, that all seemed to go away. I mean, I fell asleep on the ramp door of the trailer before a pro stock racer a year or so ago. Like, I don't seem to get nervous much anymore. Like, it's just I've raced for pretty much long enough now. Not There's nothing really new anymore about it. So I'm a little bit better for pre-race and stuff. So there's nothing really special that I do other than just try to keep calm, think of what I got to do and what's ahead.
Speaking of sportsmen, Jordan Vino's watching, and he's a guy making the jump to pro stocks this year whenever we get racing in Nova Scotia. But he wrote that you should get another sportsman car again to dabble in some of the big races that come up, like the Riverglade International. Would you think about stepping into a sportsman in the near future, whether it was offered to you or you maybe pick up another one?
If it was offered, I would absolutely jump on that. Either whether it's a sportsman, a street stock, anything with 4 wheels and a motor, I would be down to give it a try. I mean, I do miss racing in the sportsman cars. I only ran them for a couple of years, and I loved it for the time that I was in it. The I haven't raced anywheres other than Speedway 660 in a sportsman, so I definitely would love to try races at other tracks in one. I think that would definitely be a lot of fun.
Well, there you go, sportsman owners. You got one of the best in pro stocks looking for a ride. Speaking of drivers, a fellow driver, Riley Harris, he's watching. He wrote, "Hey, Ryan, I'm wondering how you started using number one for your number. It's a pretty cool number. So why number one for you?"
No in particular reason. I remember saying to Dad a long time ago. This was like a year or two before I even started go-kart racing, so I would have been 6 or 7. And I think he asked me what number I would be if I was to race, and I had 3 numbers in mind. I think I had number 1, 22, and 88, something like that. And then I think it was that Christmas that I walked down the stairs into the basement, and I had been saying how bad I wanted to go race, and I just wanted to race. Didn't matter what it was. It could have been a full size race car, go kart, dirt bike. Didn't matter. And they got me a go kart that Christmas, and it was yellow at the time, but it had a big number 1 on it, and then it's stuck ever since.
Well, you're number one at the real racetrack and number one on iRacing. You know, we did a bunch last year with the pandemic kicking off and to cover the winter and the fall this previous year. You're pretty darn good at iRacing. Does some of that transition well to the real racetrack for you with your success?
I think it definitely does. The iRacing is realistic enough in terms of like setting a car up or making adjustments. You can use that. You can almost try different stuff. You won't get the feeling in the seat, obviously, but you'll kind of get a rough idea of what stuff works, what doesn't. And also just in driving wise, say going down into the corner and where your vision's got to be hitting your marks. Um, I've learned to kind of be able to tell, say, if you got a car getting loose coming off the corner, I can kind of see that now from using iRacing. And I can't say if it does or it doesn't help, but I think it helps also transitioning to the real world racing. Uh, so yeah, it's definitely a good tool to stay practiced up and develop your skill even more.
That's all we got for now here on social media, Tim.
Yeah, we're showing some of the highlights of the. I believe this is the All Star Showcase you won back a little while ago on the iRacing deal. Has there been any run-ins that you've had with anybody on the iRacing track that kind of boiled over? I think if I remember it correctly, everything was calm with you, right?
Yeah, no, it's just all good fun on the iRacing. I mean, yeah, you do take it a little bit seriously. I mean, you could pretty easy to put a lot of time making setups for them and all that just to be competitive. The races that you do where they're fixed, they're a little bit better for people that you know, they got to work all day, and then you can show up that night and do some racing. It's pretty good fun.
Yeah, that was the finish of the Five Flags race that we're watching. So that was a pretty neat show. Let's talk about bucket list items. You won the 250. You won a bunch of big races in Sportsman, all big races all throughout your career. Is there any race that either you haven't won that you mentioned going back into a Sportsman or going back that you'd kind of like to click off the list, or is there one in Pro Stock that you kind of want to get off your list sooner rather than later?
I mean, you've always got to think about the crown jewel races, like the IWK 250, the Cat 250. I have won the Speed Weekend 250 in Gary. I mean, you know, I'm always going to want to win it again, obviously. And no, those three races there they're the bucket list races for me. One of my biggest bucket list races is any race, say, at a place like Oxford. I mean, the competition that's down there, it's just crazy. You got all the past drivers down there. It's been a dream ever since I started going to the 250 down there, to make it there someday. Once the borders open up, hopefully within a couple of years, maybe we'll be able to make a run down there.
Now, you ran Florida Speed Weeks in the Bando way back when. We see Nicholas Noggle and Austin McDonald and a couple of those drivers that started at Winter Nationals and kind of worked their way up through. Is it something that, you know, you have in the back of your mind, bucket list trip, if it eventually all lines up to maybe go back to Florida and maybe do a little racing down there?
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome to do. I mean, you go down in Florida and places like that, and you go to a super late model race or a pro late model race, and it's just a complete different world of racing. I mean, it's you got all the big name drivers going to those races. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome to give it a shot against those guys if I'd ever had the opportunity. So yeah, that would definitely be cool to try someday.
So let's look forward to June 5th. If there is a pro stock race at Petty International Raceway, what's the mindset going in? Will you make the trip to that one? If there is a race there, let's kind of peer into the crystal ball and let's kind of, you know, play devil's advocate a little bit here.
Yep, it's on our schedule to make it to that one. Our main goal there is to obviously stay in one piece. That's one of the biggest goals when we go to Petty. It's a little tighter track, but a lot of fun. Just keep fenders on it. See what our new car, what we can do with it, what it needs to improve if it needs it. Just still trying to learn the track, I guess, as well in this new car. I've heard that there's been a few changes made to it, so just try to overall have a good run, stay in one piece is about the goal.
Denver, what do you have for Ryan? Because I know there's some wheels turning there. There's been some lights going on back and forth there too. If you're watching on the Facebook feed, there's been a light show that Denver's been going on with there too. So what do you got over there, Denver?
I think that Meredith just wanted to try to mimic some fireworks for Ryan's win or something.
Oh, that's what we had. It was an afternoon race. We had no fireworks.
Yeah, I think it was just some fireworks. I don't know, or a light show of some sort. But Ryan, I want to ask you about the camaraderie between you and Ashton Tucker. This is a driver that, you know, you started with him, or he started with you in Bandos, I guess. You had a couple years on him, but you know, you worked your way up the ranks. You just kind of went different ways, but then you just came back together in pro stocks, and now you've raced each other for championships, for wins. You each have a win in the 250. You know, you race each other on iRacing, and Ashton said here the other week that he could race against anyone in a demo car, it would be you. So kind of tell us a bit about, you know, it's you like to poke some fun at each other and mess around, but then on the track, you guys show a lot of respect for each other, it seems.
Yeah, I always like talking to Ashton, and we have fun throughout the winter on the iRacing. I'd love to try a demo car against him. I think that would be a lot of fun someday. No, I mean, you go to any kind of race that he's in, and you can't count him out. He's one of the best drivers around. Him and the Brad Siliker team, they've got their stuff figured out. Yeah, I mean, we've raced for a few years on and off. I mean, he's fun to be around, and yeah.
Tim, Barry keeps talking about these grudge match race cars for Miramichi. That would be a show, wouldn't it? If we put Ashton Tucker and Ryan Messer in Barry's grudge cars and let them go for 10 laps.
Yeah, I think it would. There's been a couple of those match race is brought up, and I think that's one that, because you've raced, you mentioned you raced in Miramichi before. Have you ever thought about, getting into one of those demos? Because I'm sure you've seen them. They're pretty wild up there. What are your thoughts on those demo events that they have?
I know that they do look fun. I was up there one time and said that looks like it'd be some fun to do. And then about 10 minutes later, there's a car getting towed off with the passenger side door touching the driver's seat. So it's it looks a little scary at other times, but I think it'd be pretty good fun.
There you go, Denver. I think we have we have to get Barry lined up on this. So, the match race between Ashton and Ryan. We have Riley and Bob Goodwin.
He wants to do it.
He goes. Is he already?
I do it in the pro stock if they let us.
Look, we can do that too.
We can do that too. I don't know if Barry's going to allow us, but we can put words in his mouth. Right?
Listen. I will make sure that Barry allows that. If we put Ashton and Ryan on the track together, head to head, I think we'd have to add some more seats. That would be the most entertainment I think we'd ever see.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Is there a racetrack that you haven't been on yet that you want to try? Obviously, Oyster Bed didn't do the Sportsman deal. Haven't been over there with the Pro Stock yet. I know Dylan's got a dirt track down there in the valley. Is there any racetrack that you kind of have in the Maritime circled on your radar that might be kind of cool to take a look at?
Probably the top one would be Oyster Bed. I mean, I know they got the tour races over there. I haven't been there before. I've just watched some videos. I know it looks tight. It's got banking. It looks pretty fast. I think that would definitely be a place that I'd love to try and go race in the near future for sure.
We're live and interactive. We've got Alexandra Oblinas coming up in just a few moments' time. So get your final questions in for Ryan and comments, and Dylan can get down there. It sounds like, Dylan, you've got some friends over there on social.
I got a friend in Barry Richard.
Oh, do you?
Well, he wrote sure thing about that little head-to-head, but the thrill maker would have to be involved in there too, since he brought the pro stock last October. So that there's three volunteered so far.
Well, if we can get 11 at 660 last week, I know Kevin. I think the last pro stock race up there, Kevin Moore was a part of it. Yeah, obviously with the borders closed, but you'd have the King car. Johnathan Hicken won that race. You had some decent names up there. Wayne Smith was in that race. There wasn't a whole lot of cars left in the lead lap because I don't think they anticipated it to go 100 plus laps, green flag, green to checkered. But it was a great show overall. You had the Brad Sulliker car there. Who was driving that car at the time? Denver, do you remember? John Rankin, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we can all reminisce and everything else, but there are new drivers in pro stock cars now, so we've got to do this again, right? This is what we got to do, right?
Absolutely.
They had some pretty good sportsman races back then. I mean, you had the Ken McKenzie's, the Robbie Frazier's, Dave O'Blinis. I mean, there was a really good stout field of sportsman cars that used to race up there, and then, like you said, they had a good pro stock race back then. So that'd be cool to do again some year for sure.
Maybe it's a street stock, because that street stock series, we obviously, with the borders closed, we have no idea what's going to go on with that street stock series. But you get the very best fall shootout, the Urquhart Construction 100 660, the 5K at Petty. You've grown up at 660. I'll ask you about the Ricky Bobby race, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 200 this year or a 150, or it keeps getting bigger. The prize purse keeps getting bigger. The fundraising keeps getting bigger. How cool is it to see that grassroots event at your home racetrack?
I think that's pretty awesome to see. And I mean, the fans that have come out to that race it's unbelievable, really. I mean, few people, I wouldn't know them off by name, but I think it was just an idea that kind of formed up. And I mean, few years later, look what it's turned into. It's one of the biggest races in the Maritimes for street stocks. I mean, it's big money now. There's 24 cars or more showing up to it. You're gonna have to qualify for it soon, really, the way that the street stock class is going in the Maritimes, and then that's awesome to see. That's probably going back to bucket list races. That would be one of my bucket list races. Would be to run. I've never been in a street stock, but I have been in a sportsman, so I think they're kind of similar. So to race with those guys in a big race like that would definitely be cool.
So do you think you could go head to head with Ricky Cashel?
Oh, I give him a try.
it seems like he's the one that you have to race with. We talked about guys earlier, veterans and what have you, and I guess he's one of the legends that you need to race against at least once. In Nova Scotia, it's Cy Harvey. It's got to be Rick Cashel in New Brunswick. Dylan, you agree?
100%.
Yeah. Who do you got on social? Final call. What do you got over there?
Well, J.A. McLeod wrote, any changes to the car you want to make after the big win on Sunday? Is it picture perfect and let it be for the next 660 race? Or I guess with Petty being quite different, would you bring another car if you have another one? Or would you do a bunch of changes to it?
I told Dad I didn't even want to take the duct tape that's off the quarter panel on it. I just wanted to leave it the same and put it back. No, all we're gonna really do is just get it cleaned up again, any little minor repairs, and then put it back in the box and come back pretty much with what we have. We might experiment a little bit. It's hard to say yet, but no, I mean that car had a really good outing for its first race, and I think we're onto it pretty good with that one. So hopefully we'll be as good or better for the next one.
We'll cap off the social media portion with this question because it always comes up from Brent, and it's always interesting to get people's takes on their worst wreck. But what would you say is your worst wreck so far in your young career?
I've only had a few in my career, two of them in the bando. One of them was in the Sportsman, which I just took a tumble over the bank at Gary, which wasn't bad at all, really. It just sucked more or less. In the bando, I had a couple of rollovers, and one of the worst things about it, the two rollovers, is what they were about 3 weeks apart. I rolled down in Waterford, Connecticut, at the Waterford Speed Bowl. I mean, down there, the bandos were just like Daytona, like 2 laps in from starting on pole, I was getting pushed, like almost like drafting. So anyway, a couple laps into it, up and over I went, over and two, and that was pretty violent. You mean there was no sand to be seen down there. So that did a good number on the car. And then a few weeks later, in the heat race, off the ramp in turn two and into the beach, I went and rolled it real good that time. So that one was probably my worst wreck, I'd say, to date. Hopefully there's no more, but that's the worst one so far.
Yeah, fingers crossed on that one, especially with how good the new car is. Want to keep that picture perfect, right, Tim?
Absolutely, you do. And it's the first race of the season, first checkered flag. The win percentage is 100%. So it all works out at the end of the day. I know you got some big marketing partners on your race car that have been there for so long. Dana, I think, has been there since pretty much day number one. How cool is it to have Dana's Collision Center still on that race car?
It's very awesome to have him. I mean, ever since he started sponsoring our team, it would have been back in 2015 when I started Sportsman, started weekly racing again back at Gary. I mean, him and Dana and Carol Alexander have just treated us like family, just like their own. And I couldn't ask for better sponsors on our team. I really have to thank Andy and Anita Fox from the Waterfront Pub and Eatery. They are what made it possible to make our upgrades to our cars this year, and I couldn't thank them enough for all that they're doing for us, for our team. I've also got to thank my other sponsors, Moffitt's Convenience Plus, Northeast Distributors, uh, Watson's Home Hardware, Bumper to Bumper, Excel Manufacturing, The Cabin Restaurant, MC Hammer, Rec Auto, CarQuest, Service Master Moncton, Kojak's, Petro Canada, Wonder Muffler, Thunder Lightning Motorsports. I got to thank again my crew, mom and dad, Camden, Jackson, George, all my grandparents, and everyone that makes this deal possible.
I think you got everybody included in there. So I'll ask you, any final thoughts from this weekend? Anything that you're going to take from this weekend that you're going to move forward to for this season? Anything we didn't cover from Sunday at the Riverview Ford Lincoln season opener?
I think it's just going to be another good year racing. Hopefully, all the borders will open back up, and we can. I mean, last year was just awesome. Big. It seemed like big races, like 150s and 250s, pretty near every week. There was a big race happening somewhere. So hopefully, we can get back to that. I mean, maybe ease into it, see if we can keep all the, all the COVID cases and all that. Just do our part to keep all that in line and get back to a little bit more of a normal summer.
Well, thank you for joining us here this evening. We wish you all the best. Put that car cover over that car. Don't touch it because it was on rails on Sunday. And we'll see you on the racetrack whenever the next Pro Stock race is.
Yes, thanks for having me.
That's Ryan Messer. And Dylan, exciting news. The Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame now has nominations open. I know you got a little more information on that.
Yeah, am I being inducted? Oh wait, sorry.
That is a question for, I believe, Mike James, I believe.
Ah, yes, bye. But yeah, that was announced earlier today, the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. They're looking for nominations for the class of 2021. They're accepting applications until July 30th. And you could vote for your favorite driver. You could vote for an owner, a pit crew member, whoever's involved with racing on the East Coast. And that's something we really want to get is more East Coasters, Maritimers, Atlantic Canadians into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. And I mean, there's a who's who of famous drivers from Junior Hanley all the way to Frank Fraser, part of that Hall of Fame. So again, you can go to TCM, timscorner.ca, and you can click on the post that says call for nominations to the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame for the year 2021. The full details are there, and vote for your favorite driver or favorite member of any organization with racing here in the Maritimes. And let's get an East Coaster here in the Hall of Fame for 2021.
And the cool thing that I was talking to Joan Rui a little bit earlier on, and the cool thing about this deal is that they don't know who they're nominating or who they're looking at when they're going through the ledger. They're just looking at accomplishments, resumes. They don't see names until the scoring is done and they have the final list. So that's kind of neat. So head over to cmhf.ca for all the information when it comes to the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. Nominations now open, and I know they're looking for some more names from the East Coast, but they can't go in unless they are nominated. So this is the opportunity to do so now. We are waiting on Alexandra Oblinas, so we will bring Dylan Langell back up for the moment until we get Alex on here. But I'm going to call an audible, Paul. Let's go to our picks from this week. Let's go to what we were going to do a little bit later on, but we'll get it now because what?
Tim, firstly, can I interrupt you first, please?
Yes, you can.
I threw names out there. Is Frank Fraser part of the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame?
I believe he is.
Okay, I just want to make sure. If he wasn't, vote for him. But if he's in there, vote for your next favorite person.
Okay, well, there you go. And you know what? We're going to call another audible. There's our fantasy points on the screen. We'll go through this now. We have Alex Oblinas with us. But first, Dylan, you're first. You scored 100 points last week.
Yay! I know, ain't I good?
Yeah, you are. Something like that. Me and Denver were a little bit off the mark. Our race for this week that we are doing for our fantasy points is the Atlantic Modified Tour season opener at Petty Raceway. The entry list is on your screen. You'll have an opportunity on Facebook this week to pick your favorite. We're having a fan sort of deal here too. So our picks for this week, me and Denver are on the same wavelength. Denver, who do we have?
Tim, we have the defending Atlantic Modified Tour champion, and I guess the defending Petty International Raceway Modified champion, seeing as there was no track champion crowned in 2020. Mr. Yves McRae, driver of car number 58. Tim, I think we're on the right track for this week.
I think we are. Joe Hoyt's going to be strong. There's a couple of names in there that Nazim Dutcher's always great when he goes to Petty. Dylan, you have Travis Conroy.
I do, and I was the top guy last week. Don't ask me. I know how to pick him.
Mic drop. Just move on, I guess. We'll leave it at that. You can make your pick later on this week on the Tim's Corner Motorsports Facebook page. But we're going to bring in a driver, second winner on the evening that we have, and this was the scene coming out of corner number 4. 2 drivers that weren't the 74 car, and then all of a sudden, down to the inside, into Riverview Ford Lincoln Victory Lane, Alexandra Oblinas, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you're sitting in third. You see 2 cars in front of you. What was going through your mind when what happened in turn 4 happened?
Well, I was preting content, gonna finish third there, and they started to kind of get together a little bit with like 2 to go, and I backed out of it because I wanted to give myself room in case anything happened. But coming out of 4 there on the last lap, I don't even know what happened. All I know is that they both went up and I just drove straight off, and I was I seen the 11 coming back down towards me. It looked like he was going to come down and clip me. So all I heard on the radio was go, go, go to make sure that I got by them. But yeah, I don't really know what happened there.
You've seen these races play out before. You've had a couple of these wins at Speedway 660. Your sisters seem to have a fast race car in the second half of that race because it had a lot of green flag laps to it. She got by. Did you kind of have that sense as to these two up front of me might get a little bit racy?
I mean, she was beating on me there for a couple laps. She was way faster than me the second half of the race. I changed a bunch of stuff on my car this year, and I was playing around with brakes and stuff, so that wasn't really going very good for me. But once she got by me, I let her by because I knew she was faster and there's no point in holding her up. But once she got to him, I didn't know if they were going to try to race each other hard or if they were going to give each other room because it was the first race. But yeah, the incident with 2 to go, they were both sideways and I almost ran them both over, but I could have gone around them, but I decided I thought better of it. I didn't want to go 3 wide, but yeah, I didn't expect that to happen on the last lap for sure.
We are live and interactive here this evening. Be sure to drop us a question or a comment. We'll get Dylan Langella on the case. He's been busy all night long. And Dylan, I think the Speedway 660 page does have a share on it, so keep your eye over there as well. How big is it to win that first race of the season? Momentum-wise, you just had Ryan Messer on. How big is it for you to win the first race of the season that you're in?
It's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever won the season opener anywhere. I've always had bad luck or something break or just the car wasn't right after changing it over the off season. But I don't think we're going to run for points. We're not planning on going to the next one, but it's definitely a confidence booster being able to win the first one right out of the bat and kind of get the win out of the way. So, yeah, I mean, any wins that come from now on are kind of a bonus, but yeah, it's pretty cool to get the first one, that's for sure.
There was only 8 cars up there, but it was a damn good race to watch. How cool is it to have that competition so close at that racetrack, albeit being that small of a field?
Yeah, it was a tight field. There was only 8 of us there, but all day in practice, we were watching the times on the app that they've got set up there, and they were like probably all 8 of us were within 0.2 of each other. Like the top 5 were all running identical times. So we didn't know how the day was going to go because we were all so close in times, and we like any one of us could have won it really. Like that's just how the day went. And yeah, it just ended up that the 3 of us were up front battling there, but there's a stout field there. Even though there's not very many cars, anybody could win every week.
Now, you mentioned not running for points, but there's some pretty big races there this year. There's a 200-lap sportsman race there in the middle of the season. Obviously, Speed Weekend is always big. Does it send a statement, give a momentum boost to those big races coming up, knowing that you got one in the pocket already?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've got to change a few things on the car to get it working better, but it's definitely a good start. And I mean, it's good to, like I said, have that win kind of in my pocket and out of the way. And going into the big races, anything else is just a bonus. So I've got notes to work off of, and we'll go from there, I guess. The big races should be fun, that's for sure.
I guess while we're on the subject, 200 laps in a sportsman car at 660. Thoughts?
Well, I think it's going to be fun. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to be breaking it up into 200 lap segments. I don't know yet. But I think it should go 200 straight. If you have to pit, then that's just something more strategy that you got to play into it. But yeah, I doubt they'll do that. They'll probably have a break at halfway or something. But I'm excited for 200 laps. I mean, I love big races just because you've got to have more strategy that comes into play, and you got to kind of save your stuff till the end and not get your car all wore out before like 50 to go anyway. And yeah, I mean, that 200 lapper is going to be fun. So we'll see, I guess.
I like the idea of 200 straight. I'm sure there's going to be some people in the chat and the comments that like it. I'm sure there's going to be some that don't too, but I'm sure we're going to hear that at some point tonight.
Sure.
Dylan, what do you got for early returns on social?
Well, taking a look through here, and Alex, congratulations. That was a wild race to watch on
Yeah.
TCM TV. I let an audible damn when that happened on the with 2 to go, and then the crazy finish.
I'm pretty sure I said the same thing. So
Our guest coming up a little later, Johnathan Dickson's wondering, did you put Joel to work on the car this weekend?
oh, definitely. He was working on the car all weekend.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, Alex, there's always brother combinations in all kinds of sports and motorsports as well. Sisters, not so much. How
Mhm.
special is that you get to share the track with your sister and then I guess be going for the win alongside with her too?
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's always fun to be able to run up front with the guys because it's such a guy-dominated sport. But to have both of us out of the same stable, always able to run up front is fun. And I mean, some people don't like it, some people do. It is what it is. But we think it's pretty cool that two girls can run up front all the time with the guys, and we try to run each other clean. It doesn't always happen, but I mean, that is what it is. We give each other room and we don't at the same time. But yeah, I mean, it's always fun to know that we're going to show up and we're going to be able to run up front, hopefully, and yeah, be there for the win at the end.
Fred here on Facebook's wondering, have you ever considered switching to disc brakes on the rear of your car?
I tried disc brakes on the car at one point, but I did not like it. And that's just Fred being tormenting me. But yeah, I tried them for like 3 races, I think, and I couldn't get them to work right. So I took them back off and put the drums on and haven't gone back since. So probably not going to go back to discs anytime soon.
For a race fan that may not exactly know what that means, what are the big differences between disc brake and the others you were mentioning there?
Yeah, so disc brakes are like rotors and brake pads and calipers. So that's usually what you see on the front of the car. And then drum brakes would be like kind of old school type brakes. So it's got like a drum that goes over the axle, and then it's got like brake shoes inside of it. So it's not an actual the drums don't have as much stopping power, but in the sportsman cars, it's hard to get the disc brakes to work just because they have too much stopping power and it makes the cars loose going into the corner. Yeah, that's pretty much the basic explanation of it.
Now, for me to understand, Tim Dean is wondering if the borders open up, the Nova Scotia New Brunswick border, would you consider running the IWK 250 sportsman race?
I would love to, but sponsorship and funding just probably isn't going to allow that because there's a lot of stuff we need to change on the cars to be able to do that. We have to put the exhaust under the car because it comes out the door right now. We need a 2-barrel. It's got a 4-barrel on it. We got to change front springs because they've got a 800 minimum spring rate, I think, there, and rear end gears. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we need to change. And if I were to go, we need to do both cars because I can't go and not take Courtney. So that's everything, all that stuff I just mentioned times 2. So yeah, I would love to go and race that race. That's always been a bucket list race for me, but unfortunately, sponsorship and funding right now just isn't going to allow that.
Dylan, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
What are you thinking?
So Dave shows up in Sydney last year. Where was the invite to you guys? Did you guys even get the invite to come up with race cars?
No, we were not allowed to go with race cars. Trust me, I wanted to.
There you go. Dylan, what else you got on social?
Well, Taylor Albert, he wrote, "Hey Alex, do you ever see yourself getting back in a street stock for a big race like the Ricky Bobby if you had the option to?"
I would, yeah. I'd love to get back in the street stock and race those big races. There's a lot of competition in the street stocks now, and it's really cool to watch. Whether I get to an opportunity to do that, I don't know. I always tease Justin Cole because he has my old car that I used to race, and I said I want to buy it back from him when he's done with it, and he told me that he's taking that one to the grave with him. So I don't know. I mean, if I don't get a car like I had, I don't know if I'd want to run, because there's some tough competition in that class these days, and you'd want your stuff top notch to be able to go out and run with them.
Well, I'm assuming you had to have watched some of those races last year at 660 and even Petty. I mean, from the announcer booth, myself and Jesse Thompson were staring at like 30 street stocks at Petty. Does that almost give you a bug to say, man, I'd like to be back out here with the boys and girls racing?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's so cool to be able to see car counts like that in any division, really. I mean, I know last year in the Mike Stevens race, we had 28 sportsman cars, I think, and that was awesome. Like, it's so cool to have that many cars show up to a race just for the fans and for us, the competition. Like, the more competition, the more fun the racing is. So I would definitely love to go back to street stock racing if that were the case, if there was car camps like that. I think Shediac one year we had 28 street stocks for the Atlantic Championships, and that was a ball. It was so fun. But I mean, like I said, I don't have the opportunity to do it right now, but if I ever did, I definitely would step back and go street stock racing, because there's some stout competition.
So you are a fan of bigger fields, even if it means there's a couple slower cars putting around the track. You want as many cars as you can get on the track. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. The more competition, the better.
There you go. Well, hopefully we get some strong car counts coming up this summer, Tim.
Mm.
I want to go back. You talk about memorable races and memorable finishes. We'll get Paul to roll the B-roll from 2019. The photo finish with you and your sister at Speedway 660. Late race restart. Came down to it. It was Kids Day. What do you remember about that race? Because you ended up in victory lane with you guys finishing 1-2.
Yeah. All I remember is that I was on the outside of her, and we were beating and banging a little bit. Nothing serious, but yeah. She had the advantage right until the line, obviously, and I just remember coming off of 4, and I got a really good run, and I didn't think I got it. From my point of view, she was ahead of me, but transponders don't lie, obviously. So, yeah, that was definitely an exciting finish. And all I remember is my spotter coming on, right excited, because he said that I had gotten it, and I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think I got that. But anyway, I did. And yeah, you'll probably never see a finish that close again in the history of sportsman racing in 660. But anyway, yeah, it was pretty cool.
You've had some memorable races. What sticks out for you for memorable wins?
That's probably one of the top ones. I'd say probably the first one would be the Caleb Dunn 150 that I won at 660. I led probably 149 of the 150 laps. I don't think I led the first one, but then I took the lead after that. It was really cool to be able to have a dominant car like that, because that was the first time that I had had a car that good and Petty. And yeah, so that was really cool. And I beat Dad, so that was even better. He said he kept getting to my rear bumper there, and he'd start pushing for whatever reason, so he just couldn't get to me. And then probably the next memorable would be the Martin's Home Heating 100 2 years ago, I think. I led the whole race, and then coming off of 4 on the last lap, Devin Snell got to my rear bumper because I had a right front tire going flat. And I had slowed down a bunch, and he got me loose coming off of 4. And I just remember that we drag raced to the line after I led the whole race, and I ended up getting it. So that was pretty cool. That I knew he was gonna get me, like he was gonna try to move me. So I was ready for it. And yeah, so we were all good after the race, and that was really cool to be able to drag race to the line.
You've dabbled in some pro stock racing as well. You've been you started in the Bandoleros, worked your way to the pro stock, found the home in the sportsman. Talk about that dabble into the pro stock division. What do you remember? Highlights, what have you, about that little foray?
Yeah, 2015, I ran the pro stock and the sportsman for points in at 660. That was a lot of work. Um, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the pro stock as much as the sportsman, I guess, just because we didn't have enough time and manpower to get everything to where it needed to be able to compete up front. Because it's just me and dad that work in the shop most of the time. So trying to get that pro stock to work right, and I was focusing on the sportsman a lot, and I wasn't enjoying it as much as I do the sportsman. So that's why I decided to take a step back and just go back to sportsman. Yeah, it was fun. I would love to try it now that I've gotten so much experience in the sportsman car. But yeah, it's definitely a huge step up from sportsman, that's for sure.
Well, with the way the pro stock program is coming out of your guys' shop now after the 250 last year, and obviously very strong on Sunday, it seems like both sportsman and pro stock programs are really rolling right now, aren't they?
Yeah, I would love to get in dad's car and try it, but he won't let me.
Doesn't he have a sportsman track record or something to break? Can't you just swap for a night?
Well, that's no, he won't let me. I've told him that, but he would love to get back in my sportsman car, but he'd have to change the seat because he doesn't fit in my seat. But I would love to get into his pro stock and try it because I want to try the Fury car. But yeah, he definitely gave that a hard no.
Well, maybe when he wins that 100th race or whatever he was talking about last week, maybe he'll let you in on that. So maybe we have to get him those 100 wins first.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Something like that. We're live and interactive. Drop us a question. Drop us a comment. Denver, I know the wheels are turning over there. You were there on Sunday. What do you got?
Okay, well, first of all, Alex, that was a crazy finish, and congrats on the big win. I know everyone in the stands was absolutely losing their minds. That was awesome to see, and not only did you get the win, Destiny got second. If a couple feet would have been the difference between you, Destiny, and Courtney sweeping the podium. So a great race. But I got to ask you something that we just talked about your father, and Tim said he was on last week. It was either the 2018 or the 2019 race on Speed Weekend, and he said that you basically almost wrecked him or something like that. Take us back. We want to hear your side of this story.
Okay, well, he thinks that I tried to wreck him, but I think that he let off in the corner way too early. He backed the corner up way too far, and I was used to him driving it into the middle of the corner, and he just didn't that restart for some reason. So I was clear by like 2 inches behind me, so I got down in front of that guy and behind him, and he just completely stopped in the middle of the corner, and I ran him over. So I don't know why he thinks I wrecked him or tried to wreck him, because I definitely wouldn't have done that. But yeah, we tease each other about that one. We still do. Yeah, but that's from my point of view, that's what happened.
Well, Tim, there's always two sides to every story.
Exactly.
So did he have a senior moment? Is that what we're getting at?
Well, that's very possible.
He's not here. I'm sure he's tormenting in the shop, right? So we can still talk about.
He's definitely out in the shop listening right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Denver.
Oh, there he is in the window.
Yeah, this is good. Oh my God. So let's talk a bit about the street stock those days. He said last week that originally the plan was for you to go straight to sportsman, but after a little conversation with Frank Frazier, those plans changed. And I believe, Alex, your first year in street stock, you won not only Rookie of the Year, but you won the championship as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So that was at Petty Raceway. Take us back to that season. I know your father said early in his career he won a bunch of championships as well. So how cool was that to kind of follow in his footsteps and take home the championship?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the biggest years of my racing for sure. We were gonna, like he said, he was gonna put me in the sportsman there, and then we decided to go street stock instead because Frank Frazier told us that was a better idea. And I'm thankful that we ended up doing that, because it definitely gave me the confidence, I guess, in the big cars and the rear wheel drive cars. But yeah, that first year in street stock, I think the first 3 races I ran in it, I finished third each race. So that was super cool because we had probably 15 cars every week. So it was really tough competition at the time. Yeah, and then as the season went on, I was in second points, I think, and then the leader ended up not finishing one of the races because of his gas cap came off, I think. So he got black flagged, and then that ended up boosting me up into first, and then after that, just ended up being consistent, I guess, and staying top 3 most weeks, and ended up getting the championship. But yeah, that last race, I was so nervous. I was like, because I wasn't expecting to be able to get it. And yeah, that last race, it was a 50 lapper. I was running second most of the race. There was like 25 cars. And my brake rotors, front rotors, were sparking. They were so hot. And I ended up losing brakes because I don't know what was wrong with them, but everyone thought I was blowing up. So Wayne was going to black flag me because he said that something was coming off the car basically. But he ended up figuring that it was the brakes, so he let me go. And I hung on to second and was able to get the championship. But I just remember like completely disintegrating when I got out of the car. I was so relieved that I was able to get it. And yeah, it was definitely a memorable night for sure.
Definitely. And I remember being there that night, and that was a crazy awesome race that night with those street stock cars.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of jump ahead a little bit. Let's talk about last year, because you opened the season off last year. Well, the first race you didn't win, but then there was the second one at Petty Raceway. You ended up getting the win. But after that, a bit of tough luck throughout the year. 2020, what are you going to remember from the COVID shortened season where, to throw in a little dig, you and your sister got wins, but your father didn't?
Yeah, we ended up both getting a win there, and Dad didn't. But one of the biggest things I'm going to remember from last season is just the bad luck. Last year I just couldn't catch a break. Something would break on the car or something would fail. Like it just seemed like every week there was something going on, except for that one race that I had won. But yeah, I am glad 2020 is over.
So I want to kind of go back to one race in particular, which I know it didn't end well for you with the Riverglade International. You were in the middle of that whole racket there in turn 1 and 2, where we saw fire extinguishers flying through the air, and not at you, but what all went on there? What do you remember from that crazy situation?
Yeah, I just remember I got turned from behind, and one of the other guys didn't have anywhere to go, so he just nailed me straight on, and we ended up having to put front horns on the car. We thought we were gonna have to put a front clip on it, but we ended up just putting the horns on it. I worked 2 weeks straight in the shop every single day, getting that car ready to go back the next race, and that was just a bad deal. I mean, I didn't think it was that hard of a hit from in the car. Like it didn't feel like he had hit me that hard. Like I was expecting to go back in the pits, they were going to tear the nose off, and I'd be good to go back out. But the radiator was wrapped around the front of the motor. Like it was bad. Yeah, then like when I was sitting there in the infield, I had the car running, waiting to go drive off, and all I remember is I had gotten turned around, I was facing the wall in turn 1 and 2, and all I seen was a fire extinguisher go flying at one of the cars, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened there, but I'm glad I'm not part of that.
That was definitely one of the most memorable moments of 2020. So let's look ahead to 2021. I know you said you're not really planning on running for points. When are we going to see Timo Blinas at the track next? And going forward the rest of the year, what would be the plans?
Yeah, I would love to run for points at 660 now that I've got the win there in the season opener, but I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. Plans change. I don't know. We're going to run most of the big races, so the Sportsman and the Pro Stock. We're planning on going to Petty this coming Sunday if it doesn't rain. It's supposed to rain, but we'll see. So we'll have the 2 Sportsman cars there, and then I think the next one is in Petty again for the Pro Stock. But yeah, so basically we're just going to run like most of the bigger races at Petty and 660, and potentially some other races here and there at different tracks, but we'll see how the year goes.
Dylan, how's social media looking at you? They keeping you busy?
Well, it's a little quiet right now. I mean, we got some check-ins. My buddy Will McIntosh from Valley Raceway, he's watching. Jordan Vino, though, Alex, a fellow sportsman competitor, he likes the idea of 200 straight with live pit stops.
Yeah, I would love to run 200 straight and do like the Pro Stock 250 where you have live pit stops there, but it kind of throws in some different stuff that us sportsman drivers aren't used to, and throws in some more strategy. So I think that would be really cool, because I know that a lot of the sportsman cars don't have big enough fuel cells to be able to run 200 straight laps, mine included. So it'd be neat to throw that wrench into things and make us have to pit and fill the cars with fuel. Not necessarily put tires on it, but just have to make that pit stop to put fuel in it, because some of the bigger races, I know that you see some sportsman drivers that have to pit, like for a 150 or a 125. Some guys have to pit because with the caution laps, they're going to run out of fuel before the 125 is up. So it just kind of throws an interesting thing on things. Uh-oh, here comes Dad.
Do you not remember we have no crew to pit for 200 laps and pit 2 cars at once? Are you nuts?
So there's the one that's against it. Okay, so at least we got that out of the way. Dylan, what else do you got on social?
I think my jaw's dropped. Is that the first cameo appearance we've had on a TCM Live of someone bursting a door down?
I think Craig Rogers didn't bust a door down. We invited him in. So, yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh. Things are dried up right now on social media. So we've got Alex for a little while here. Leave a comment below, ask her a question. Maybe ask her how exactly live pit stop would work if the crew says we're not doing it.
My question is, though, shouldn't they be working on race cars right now if you guys are going to Petty?
Well, I can hear them out there watching this on their phones, so I don't think there's a whole lot of working going on.
So I guess we'll transition into that. How much work is there to do on those race cars to get them ready for Petty International Raceway after coming off a race at 660?
Courtney's, there's a little bit of more stuff to do just because she went for a little drive through the beach there, but I mean, for my car, it's not a whole lot of work. I change a few springs and really that's it. I mean, I've got my notes from last year so I can do it quickly, and I did find on my car a bent upper control arm from last weekend, so I had to fix that. And yeah, I mean, other than that, there's 3 springs to change on each car, so it's not too much work, I guess.
So take these sponsorship, the funding and the travel commitments and what have you out of the way. Is there a racetrack in the Maritimes that you kind of have on your bucket list that you'd want to try in the sportsman car? I know your father said last week we were talking about the Halifax 250. He'd love to get back to Halifax. We mentioned Riverside. Is there any other racetrack that you've kind of got on your radar?
Riverside would be the biggest one. I'd love to be able to try it there. I'd love to try Scotia too. I feel like it'd be really similar to 660. I mean, I don't know because I've never done it, but I mean, I'm good at 660 most of the time, so I feel like going to Scotia would kind of move over to there. But I don't think Scotia doesn't have spotters though, do they? Or did they change that last year?
They changed that last year for
Yeah.
2020.
That was the only thing that I didn't like because that's just that extra assurance that you have in your ear. But yeah, I mean, now that they've got spotters, I'd love to try it there.
I think that was a Ryan Van Orscott thing that he wanted changed. And Ryan's got voices in his head anyway to begin with. So I don't know why he wanted another one in his head. But moving forward, you've got a lot of the big wins in your back pocket now. Is there any other win that you kind of want to check off the list sooner rather than later?
Definitely Speed Weekend. I don't have that one. Courtney got that one there last year, and so she beat me to that bucket list win, but hopefully I'll be able to get one before I'm done racing. And probably the Mike Stevens would be the other one that I'd love to win. That'd be really neat to win because I have Mike Stevens' old sportsman car, so that'd be really cool to be able to win that race with that car.
Is there anything that you kind of want to go back and give a try? We talked about street stock racing. Is there anything that you kind of be cool to try and get in and get a race in?
Well, like I said, it'd be cool to get back in the pro stock now that I've got more experience in the sportsman. All the street stock races they have now is I'd go back to street stock just to be able to run all those races. Like they've got so many contingency awards and everything else in their big races now. It'd be cool to have a contending car to go and race with them guys. Other than that, I mean, that'd be probably it, I guess.
Denver, we talked about match races before. Can we get 3 demo cars to get the Oblinuses out there on the racetrack in Miramichi? Because they have some experience at the racetrack.
I think we could make that work, Tim. I'm sure we could. You know, Dave and Alex and Courtney all have wins in Miramichi before. And Alex, you actually ran the powder puff a couple times, I believe, and took a couple checkered flags. I remember being totally thrown off guard going down to give out the checkered flag and seeing Alex Oblinus in the car. But yeah, I think we can probably set something up. That would be fun. I think Dave would probably do a lot of wrecking that one on purpose.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know. The demos up there are insane. I don't know if I'd want to go out there with those guys, but if it were just the 3 of us, maybe. But I don't know if I'd want to attempt going out in a full out demo because that's a lot of wrecking.
They wouldn't have to fix the race cars afterwards, though, so they can spend all their time on Facebook.
That is true. That is true.
Barry's got the cars ready. Just commented.
Oh, did he? Okay. I see there's a Gerald Greenlaw sighting on Facebook too, Dylan. What do you got over there?
Gerald Greenlaw. He wrote, "Come on, Dad, let her run for points."
Yeah, he messaged me after last weekend and said, "Go get the championship." But I told him that Dad wasn't gonna take us for points or let us run for points, so we'll see.
Jordan Vino wrote here, Dave can change Courtney's tires and Joel can change yours for the live pit stops.
That would work.
Hey, Dave, how does that sound?
We'll see if he comes.
There's like a 30-second difference in between.
Yeah, I was
there,
gonna
so
say
just
there's a
explain
delay.
it. Yeah, that'll happen in a few moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about Jordan Vino. He's one of those drivers that races at Petty. He's up front. What can we say about Jordan Vino? Because he's moving into pro stock here this year too. You've ran pro stock before. Any sort of pointers you can give to Mr. Vino?
Just take it slow, I guess. It's hard. They're way different than sportsman cars, and they're a huge step up. But I mean, anyone that can go out and do well in the sportsman car is going to be able to catch on to the pro stock pretty quick. So I know he'll be able to do the same thing. And yeah, I mean, just have fun basically, because they're a lot of work and they're a lot of maintenance and can be a lot of pressure just because of the cars that you're running against. There's some stuff out there that you're never going to be able to compete with. But yeah, he'll do fine because he's good in the sportsman. So
We are live and interactive here on social media with Alexandra Oblenis. We got Johnathan Dickson coming up a little bit later on, so be sure to drop a question, drop a comment as we work forward here on this evening. And obviously, we're looking forward. We don't know what's going to happen with this pandemic, the crystal ball, everything else. What do you foresee coming up here for big races? Obviously, that Pro Stock race on June 5th, you kind of mentioned that we might see. What do you have for a forecast? What do you think we're going to see here?
It's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, we thought the bubble was going to open up there like a month ago, and it didn't. So if things keep going the way they're going, oh, now I've got my nephew being thrown in the window here.
Okay, so how many people are at the window right now?
2.
Oh, there's a door there.
There's a door. Yeah, there's Axel, my nephew.
So Courtney, since you're here, let's talk about the beach trip, because we already heard from Alex's standpoint what happened. What's your take from what happened on Sunday?
Well, it was just one of those racing things, I guess. I got a little too hot and heavy there going into a couple corners. That was my mistake on my part. That last corner, not really sure what happened. It just kind of happened the way it happened, and there was no way I could save it going up that high in the dirt. And then I just ended up taking a little ride in the beach and had to try to get back out of that. So I just thought to just keep going and maybe I could get a little bit of a good finish. So I got 4th out of it. So it is what it is.
There had to be a lot of discipline on that green flag run, though, because I'm watching from Halifax on a live timing screen, and you're consistently 0.2 of a second quicker than the 11 car ahead of you. How much discipline was it to kind of maybe hold back a little bit in that first half of the race to have that speed in the second half?
Once I got behind Alex, I didn't want to get into her at all, because that's not what I was trying to do, but I ended up starting to run her over just a little bit. So once I found a hole, I took it. I wasn't sure if I was going to catch the 11 or not, because it was already halfway through and he was quite a little bit ahead. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to have enough. So I honestly, at the second half, I just gave it all I had. When you catch somebody with only 2 laps to go, you really have to try whatever you can. And I'm sure he would have done the same thing, because I've raced street stock with him for years, and we've done that back and forth. You catch somebody, you got to try. It's not like you're just going to sit there and not try to go for the win. You're really going to try your best. And luckily I didn't spin him, didn't hit him hard. Let him collect himself, and then it was very unfortunate what happened at the end. I wish we could have drag raced it out really to the end, but it is what it is.
So it's a Wednesday night. You guys are obviously hard at work out here for at least the last 20 minutes or so on Facebook. Are the cars ready?
Almost. Hers is more ready than mine, I suppose. I have a little bit of body damage, so I have to try to fix that. It was nothing too serious. We thought I had a bent spindle, but we took it apart, checked it. It seemed to be okay. So put it back together and we'll see if it's good and petty. Not really sure, but we'll try.
Alex, I think I saw an eye roll there when the car is ready. So Dave's out there working on the race car?
No, he's out there listening on his phone.
Is there anybody working on race cars tonight?
No, I haven't heard wrenches going for the last half hour, so
We just wanted to be quiet,
Well, I guess, but you're still getting ready for the weekend. So Courtney, who's obviously there's different competition than there would be at Speedway 660 going into Petty, but any rivalry going in? Is it going to be the 48C or the 74 ahead? What's your outlook for Sunday?
Not really sure.
Oh, there's a wrench.
Oh, there's a wrench
on purpose.
There's that 30-second delay, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Petty definitely isn't my strongest track. I don't have as much experience in a big car as she does driving at Petty, so I just go and try my best, really. I know if I see the times and she's faster, I don't try to get discouraged about it because she does have a lot more experience than I do in a sportsman. And she tells me all the time that I just need to relax and do my best because it's going to come. So I try my hardest, and hopefully when we go, we'll unload and they'll be good. So we'll see what happens.
We'll do last call on social now. Dylan, what do you got over there?
I think Dave scared everyone.
Oh, did he?
I think so. Yeah, it's been.
I'm surprised though. Like he's been in, he's been out, he's been on Facebook. He hasn't commented any tonight. Besides the pit stop thing, he's been relatively quiet. I'm impressed.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are offering demo cars to the Oblinuses. Jay Scary wrote, if I'm there with the car, I'd loan it out.
There you go. We're still waiting on Johnathan Dickson. By the way, Denver, you gave him the info for the Zoom call, right?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
just double checking because it seems like the Miramichi guys have had some issues the last couple of weeks trying to do this
told-
technology thing.
I told John, I said, Ashton Tucker screwed it right up last week, so I guarantee you can't do any worse than Ashton.
So, by the way, if we're keeping score from last week, Dave beat Ashton on Zoom. Dave beat Ashton on the racetrack. So there's those two right there. Is there, obviously the door is open, he can hear us. Is there anything that we can say about Dad right now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
He did have a pretty good run on Sunday.
He did. I was a little nervous because I knew that she won and I didn't. And then when he got into the lead there for a little bit, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. They both win and I finished fourth, typical. But Ryan had a real good car, so he's got to work a little harder for that one.
But you've got the speed weekend win from last year.
I do, yes. That's probably one of my biggest ones, I think. Going into that race, I didn't think at all that I would ever win one of those. I know I won the speed weekend in my street stock and didn't think I would even have a chance, really. But I led most of that race, and that was probably the best one I had.
Denver, any more questions we can throw at Courtney or Alex?
I have one. It's kind of a loaded question for Courtney, though. So we'll see how this answer goes. But Courtney, after the finish on Saturday, or Sunday, I guess, going forward, if we see you in the 11 of Luke McLaughlin battling for another win, do you race them any differently?
I probably wouldn't. Maybe try to stay a little bit farther away so that last corner won't happen. But like I said, you always run people hard at the end. You never let somebody have it. So if I'm there, I'm going to be there. And if I'm faster, it's going to happen. So
that might be the most politically correct answer to that question I think you could have done. So that's great. Dylan, one more shot at social here. I see Johnathan Dickson is connected, so he's ready to go as long as he doesn't roll over the Zoom call.
Well, I got a question, Courtney and Alex. I asked your father this last week about how cool it is to race with the daughters. The times you get to race with Dad in a sportsman race, how cool is it to get to share the track with Dad? I guess we'll start with you, Alex, and then you, Courtney.
That's cool. I mean, he's got so much experience and a lot of years under his belt, so it's really cool to be able to run against him and compete with him, really. It's even better when you get to beat him because you know you're beating so much experience, and he's got so many wins in the sportsman. But I like to tease him because I've got his old sportsman car that he won a lot of races with in Petty and 660. So whenever I used to beat him with it, it was always just a dig at him because he wants that car back so bad, but he's never getting it back if I'm going to be driving. So, yeah, it's definitely cool to be able to race against him, and even better to be able to beat him, like I said.
yeah, I think the coolest one that I remember, I think it's the one that you won, and then he got second or third, and I think I got fifth or something, but there's a picture on Facebook of us. I think we're 1, 3, and 4. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like one of the coolest pictures because when I first started, that's when Dad was still into it quite a bit, but I was never up there with them. So I think that was the first race that I was actually somewhat there, and that was pretty cool because he used to come around and laugh at me, but now that I'm where I am, it almost goes the other way. So.
But who has the sportsman track record at 660?
That would be me. He wasn't very impressed when I came over and said I beat that, and I told him he's gonna try to get it back, but he doesn't have a car right now, so it's gonna be a little difficult.
Well, he was offered a bunch of cars here last week, so has he accepted any offers, I guess? No?
Not yet.
No?
We'll see, though.
Okay. We'll have to see how this all comes out. You got a lot of crew that's obviously not working on race cars right now. You've got a lot of sponsors that help out on these race cars to get them to the racetrack. Who's on the race cars? Who helps out on the race cars?
Yeah, we definitely got to thank our sponsors, Burger King, Kernahan Property Management, Wade J Carpentry, R. Stevens Mechanicals, Oblinas Auto Body, KG Chase and Son. We've had a few different ones come on board this year. I said Burger King. Yeah, so it's really great that we've got some different sponsors coming on board this year. It's a big help. All our crew guys, there's too many to remember them all to name, so I won't do that, but they know who they are. Can't thank them enough. They do endless amount of work for us, and definitely are the reason that we function the way we do at the racetrack. So yeah, we couldn't do it without them or the sponsors, so thankful for all of them for sure.
This has been a blast, and I think this is probably one of the most fun interviews I think that we've done in a while, with everything barging in and pit stops and everything else. So, Courtney, by the way, you are for or against live pit stops at the 200? You don't have to change the tires, right? So,
yeah, probably 4, because it does kind of throw a little bit of strategy in there, but I'm just a little nervous because there's 2 cars, not 1, so it'll probably be a little easier for some teams than it is for us, but well, if it happens, we'll try.
There you go. So we've got 2 for and 1 against. So I think that's the way it is. Girls, thank you. This has been a blast. Good luck this weekend. Go bring home some more trophies.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
That's Courtney and Alexandra Oblinas, and we will move on to our next guest coming up here on the show, and it is the Denver. Introduce our next guest.
Oh boy, Tim. It's the driver of the number 3 bomber car. He has a lot of accolades. The most popular driver at Speedway Miramichi in the bomber division in 2020. He was 2nd in points. He had a streak going of 5 consecutive bomber feature podiums. He had never not finished on the podium. That was until Saturday at the season opener, when he went for one of the wildest rides in recent memory, and he's here to talk about it. Johnathan Dickson, welcome to Tips Corner Live.
Sounds like he might be muted. We can see you, and we can see the mouth going. We can't hear you as of yet. But Denver, I can tell you, we are watching some of the bomber racing from last year. I believe this was the very best fall shootout. The bomber division has really come a long way in a year, not even a year, because you guys got started late last year.
Absolutely. You know, this class really took off, and John was one of the first ones to embrace it and really push it. This class didn't exist this time last year, and then in July we started with 7 cars, and I think we had 17 or 18 on Saturday, and we're expecting even more. So it's exciting. It's huge for the track.
Johnathan, you got us now?
Hear me?
Yep, we got you now. Let's talk about your day from Saturday, because it started off well. You had a couple of awards and 2020 accolades, and then it kind of got turned upside down.
Yeah, I decided to try to run the high side and the middle type thing in the heat race, which I never do. That didn't work out great, but still got a top 3. And then, I don't know, I was just trying to be patient in the feature, I guess. And then seeing there was 5 to go and kind of stayed in my lane. Came out of nowhere, really. I didn't really know what happened until I woke up and I was upside down.
We're also showing on the screen last year's speaker incident in turn 4 in the demolition division. But let's talk about this Bomber division, though, with everything that's gone on in the last year. Finished second in the class last year. As a division, how cool is it to see this thing grow?
Oh, it's some good time. Great bunch of lads in it. It's super competitive. Most competitive thing I was ever in, that's for sure, even for a cheap class. But anyone can win. Pretty much you get out front, you got her beat. Like, that's the way it worked for me. Anytime I got out front, you just start leaving everyone that worked for everyone else. But you can take a $200 car and have a blast with it.
And the competition is so deep. Denver, I think you can attest this because Barry corrected me today when I was on the phone with him. I think Mark Kingston is the first two-time winner in the division.
He is the first two-time winner. We had 5 different winners in 5 races last year, and Mark became the first driver to get 2 wins. But John, you almost got a second win last year. That spooktacular race, that was, I think John O'Shea said on the podium that you might be looking at giving Doug Matchett a run for the title of Mr. Excitement. That was a show in October. You led the majority of that race until lap traffic kind of impeded your progress.
Yeah. Tried to do a pass in the grass, didn't work.
So you're kind of knocking off all of Dale Earnhardt's, memories, I guess. You have the pass in the grass attempt. You had the flip to replicate the '97 Daytona 500. What's next for you? Is there any more Dale Earnhardt highlights that are going to be coming down the pipeline?
Well, you should probably black flag me if I climb out the window and try to clean my own windshield. So I'm not going to try that one.
Well, I guess Denver would have to be the one to black flag him. So Denver, Is that going to be a thing?
I've never had to deal with that. If I had to talk about that, I don't think it says in the rules you can't clean your windshield, but I don't know how it's worded about getting into the car. But that would be entertaining.
Denver, yeah. I did it during my demo race.
Oh, you did? Dylan?
I could. My windshield wiper stopped working. I had to stick my hand out and try and do something. I couldn't see.
So the transition, Johnathan, you've done a lot of the demo style racing and then kind of moving into the Bomber division. What kind of transition period, I guess, did you have from, going out and the goal is to smash the race car to, I got to race and get this thing to the front and bring it home clean?
I think it's a pretty easy transition because after you're in so many demos, and I got a very bad temper when I'm in a car. So if someone hits me, I want to junk them, but when I'm in the Bomber race, it's not really like that. No one's out there to hit you, so if someone hits you, it's just a bump. It's not intentionally, so you can actually have a chance to try to win without someone junking you. Usually in the demo, if you start doing good or you're leading points, then there's multiple people after you, so it don't work that way.
Now, obviously, with the championship this season in points on the line and getting down to the end, we're sitting here in May. I want to talk about October. It's usually how this works. 100 lap Denver, am I correct? Bomber race?
Yeah, so it's the Bomber last call race. So this is not a points race, but October 23rd, it's going to be a 100-lap endurance race to cap off the year.
So this is a big extended distance race. We usually see this with, sportsman car or pro stock or the street stocks have got some big shows now. Looking forward, Johnathan, how cool will it be to be on the racetrack and you guys to be the showcase division on that day?
Oh, I think it'll be a good time. We have another big race in the middle of the summer, too. We have a 50-lap firecracker race, and the 100-lap one's usually the last one of the year, so you try to give her all you got. But I got some great people helping me at home and at the track, so I think it'll come down to pit crew there because none of us will last 50 laps on tires, so.
Well, that's just it. You guys are used to going, your 20-ish laps, give or take 5 or 10. How do you set yourself up for a 50 or a 100, especially on a racetrack that you just mentioned is abrasive on tires?
Yeah, I don't know. I say pace yourself, but I don't pace myself ever. But that would be the thing to try to do. Maybe take an Ativan before you go out or something.
A race car driver and pace yourself. That does not happen, right?
No, apparently not.
We are live and interactive here with Johnathan Dickson. Be sure to drop us a question or a comment. Dylan, I have a feeling you might be busy on the Speedway Miramichi page by the end of this one. What do you got on social? Any early returns for Mr. Dickson?
Yeah, we got a couple here. Doug wrote, and I got to say the same thing. It's glad they didn't get too hurt in that wreck. Did you kind of get your bell rung when the car flipped over when it landed on the ground, or you just kind of came to once you were upside down?
No, I remember hitting the car, and then she just went black, and I opened my eyes, and I kind of thought to myself that was wild. First thing I tried to do was move my toes. Couldn't move my toes, but I think that was just me. And then I tried to shut the car off with my left hand. So then I seen stuff leaking. I heard someone roar fire extinguisher. Then I started to kind of realize what was going on.
Looking through here, Scotty Duffy wrote, "How does it feel to graduate from a trail warrior to a racetrack warrior?"
Oh, it's pretty good.
Doug also wrote, just forgot to mention this here. He wrote, "How long does it take to get a car together for the bomber class? Like, how much work behind the scenes goes into that? Besides making your car look sweet like Dale Earnhardt."
We rugged the car up I bought last year. I think there was 3 of us at it, and it took us maybe 2 full days. And then we didn't know much about setup. We just kind of showed up. And then, I don't know. I say you could do it in a week for sure. But I take a lot of pride in making them look good. This time I'll take a lot of pride in safety, that's for sure. But I'm going to St. Stephen actually tomorrow after work to pick up a new car. So it'll probably take me a month to build this one because I'm going to make sure this one's like a tank.
That's all we got for now, but yeah, a lot of people are also commenting here that it's good to see that you're doing well. I mean, I was watching the race from home, and I let an audible swear word we can't say on Facebook because it was scary because it just was, coming towards the end of the race, and then all of a sudden I see the 3 number facing the crowd, and that was the 3 on the roof. That's not supposed to be facing the crowd normally, right?
No.
After looking at the pictures of that wreck, and you kind of mentioned safety, and I kind of chatted with Barry a little bit earlier today. What kind of different safety precautions, I guess, are you thinking in mind when you're building this car compared to the last one?
Well, we only need a halo bar in them for that class. You don't technically need belts or a seat. I would tell anyone that they should have seats in the belt for sure. Helps you stay in the car. And if I was upside down there with a regular seat belt, I would have hit my head a lot harder for sure. But my H bar was back too far. It should be at least up to the seat. And Sunday morning I woke up 6 a.m. Sunday morning, I went on the hunt for a car. And first thing I did was buy a full roll cage out of a mini stock. So I'll never be in something again without a full cage, that's for sure.
Now, I want to ask you about the next event because obviously you're getting that car ready, but there's a trailer race at this next race. If you had an opportunity to get in that figure 8 trailer race, would you take the opportunity to?
Yeah, well, that was the plan. I was going to put the 69 car in again and put the trailer on it. Kind of rang my bell there. I'm still thinking on it, but I'd probably change my mind. I'll probably be there with one.
How do you set yourself? Obviously, you guys have done many figure 8s in the past, but hauling a trailer behind it, how does it change the game?
No, I think it'd be, believe it or not, probably less dangerous because everyone's trying to hit your trailer and not you.
So is there any game plan going into strategy-wise to try to win that thing?
No, there is no strategy to demo, I don't think. You just try to stay calm.
The next thing I want to ask is about the burnout competition because you go out, you get your award, you go out, you roll the bomber car, and then you light it up for the fans and win the burnout competition. So how cool was that to kind of cap off the roller coaster of the day?
Oh, that was awesome. That made her a point to find a car the next morning for sure.
The burnout competition seems to be one of the most popular things up there. So to get out there and get that crowd going and how much of a motivation is that to hear that crowd going as you're lighting the tires up?
Oh, it's awesome. It's good to know that people like you, that's for sure.
Denver, what do you got for Johnathan? I see the wheels turning over there.
So first of all, John, I want to kind of back up a little bit. So you've been around the track for a while, but for those who maybe don't know you as well, why don't you kind of give an insight on how you got your start into racing and demolition at Speedway Miramichi?
Oh, well, I always hung out with Brad McLean and them, and Trenton Siliker when I was younger. I always watched him in the demos, and then I went to my first one, I think I was 14, 2008, and then I just did the odd one here and there, and then I think I did 2 full seasons. When Sean Mudgerall was home, we ran them like we'd bring 10, 11 cars every time, and we ran demos pretty hard there. Then I started to build a Duke's car, and I didn't finish it. Then I built the Duke's car. I ran 1 season with the Dukes, and then on the bombers. Demo cars are getting just as much money as a bomber now, so kind of steer away from demo a little bit.
For sure. And you know, we saw you in the demo last year. That Tim kind of alluded to it when you know, you mentioned about your temper. And why don't you give us the whole story on that little incident there at the Spooktacular where you know, forced Barry to replace some speakers?
Well, Ben Jardine messaged me a week before, said he had a car that I could have just to put on a show. So I said, yeah, sure. So it was like $600 or $700 to win the Dash for cash, and we started 3 wide. And Trenton was right beside me at the start, so I knew he'd probably hold some people back. And halfway through lap 1, I was halfway past the pack for sure. Like, it was looking good. And then I came around to lap someone, and the lad tapped me, and I feel so bad still because he barely hit me. And I hit him back, and I didn't even remember, and I just lost her. I pulled in the middle, just waited till I seen him, and held her wide open. Little did I know the wall was behind him.
Well, put on a good show for the fans at least.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was sore from that one. This weekend doubled that one.
So, you know, we saw your car on its roof on Saturday, but it's not the first time there was a number 3, I guess, vehicle, seeing as it was a van. But last August, you had a van at the demo, and you weren't driving it, but it also ended up on its roof.
Yeah, my buddy Adam rolled it. It was kind of like a slow motion type thing.
That one was a lot less of an impact for sure, though.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. So now looking ahead, Tim kind of talked about, you know, October and stuff. You got a busy month ahead. So, you know, you're looking at the new car. What are your expectations? Is this car going to be as good? Is it going to be faster? Or, you know, is it going to make you more competitive?
Oh, this car will be twice as good, guaranteed. It's a Nissan, so if you can't beat them, join them. And I bought a Buick Sunday, and we stripped it and started rigging it up. Then I found the Nissan at 1 a.m. Sunday night and bought it sight unseen. Never even seen it. Don't even know the people. I just sent her the money, and we're going to pick it up tomorrow, and I'm going to strip it, and then I'm going to bring it down to Bradman's Lanes, and me, him, and Brady are going to rig it up. So put a proper cage in it, and should be a good car, this one.
Dylan, I see social is ablaze, and I see Joel is over there dropping some comments. I figured he would have been a little more active in the last interview, but it's good to see him over there. What do you got?
Well, Johnathan, Joel's wondering about this trailer race. He wrote, "Who will you get to drive for you in the trailer race?" That's an event I don't think I've ever seen in the Maritimes. See a lot of it on YouTube, but are you going to be competing in that? And if so, what the heck is going through your mind before that race?
Oh, he's saying that because the winter one I ran Trenton's car, and I did the Dash for cash, and I spun out at the flag stand, and I'm watching all the cars go around, and for the first time ever in a demo, I'm thinking, like, man, it would suck to get hit right now and get hurt. So I went in the pits, and I was like, Randy Jordan, he just won the last demo. I was like, you want to good chance of winning the demo? I was like, sure. I was like, here, you take the car. I don't feel like it. So I get tormented pretty heavy about that from Joel and the boys, but I got big shoulders. At least I didn't quit racing.
So if someone says, hey, I don't feel like driving in this trailer race, would you hop in one of the trucks to pull one of those?
Depends who it is, really. A lot of them cars are pretty jimmies. I don't know. I'd get in someone that I know rug up, but some of them are pretty wild.
What do you mean by wild? Like, just like the care hasn't been really put in there, or they're just
some people
dangerous?
put cars in with no floors, and some don't actually have fire extinguishers. Some of the seats are barely in. Some don't have seat belts.
Well, Denver mine had a seatbelt.
Thank God it did.
Believe it or not, the van that Adam rolled, he was helping me rig up the car, and it's the first one he did, so I told him he could cut the seatbelts, and he cut all of them. So when we were at the track that day, we tied a seatbelt together, and that held him when he rolled the van, thank God, but that was why I wasn't driving the van.
So we'll put a guy like Dylan Langell on the spot. He's done one of these demos already, but he's only done like half the laps in the Dash for Cash and a couple laps in the figure 8 race. But for somebody that might be sitting in the stands at Miramichi on a Saturday and say, hey, this might be cool to get in and drive, what kind of advice can you give them to just get started, whether it's demo or bomber?
If you're going to go on the demo, hang at the back, take your time, qualify, and go on the demo and try to win. If you start spinning people out, you're going to be a target, and it's going to turn into a war. Because I spent like $1,800 one summer on demo cars, and I don't think I made it to a demolition in like 7 years. I junked every car I had in a race. So that gets annoying after a while, but you earn it. So
There you go. Denver, we're running close on time here. What any final thoughts you got for Johnathan before we close the show out tonight?
Yeah, John, I want to throw another question at you. You have a tight family. You got your two girls. They're two of the biggest fans we see. They're the loudest at the track. They love going and cheering you on. What's it like having that support from your daughters at every single race? They're there right by the fence, always cheering for you and through no matter what happens.
oh, that makes it that much more fun. They're more excited than I am half the time. That makes it worth it.
Dylan, any final thoughts from social media before we cut Johnathan loose tonight?
Nothing really targeted towards Johnathan here for questions. I guess just a lot of people commenting on Speedway Miramichi and the safety of Doug Matchett getting to the accident. And, Johnathan, that must have felt really good to you to have all that crew get to you ASAP, right?
Yeah, no, they did a wicked job. Doug was right there. I knew not to unbuckle, especially after the Mike Stevens hearing about it. I never was there, but I knew not to unbuckle. Brad McLean's explained it to me many times, not to unbuckle if you're upside down. And we had just talked about it the week before, and he was telling me the way I had my seat rug up wasn't really safe, and we were going to fix it, but we all ran out of time trying to rig up all the race cars between all of us. But, yeah, Doug was great. Told me not to unbuckle and made me put my hands over my head, hold myself when I unbuckled, and I don't think it could have been any safer for sure. I was really happy they were that good.
I know you do a great job on social media. You got a lot of great sponsors that have helped you out to get that car to the racetrack, and I'm sure are going to help you get the next car to the racetrack. You mentioned the crew. Who's on the crew and who's on the car for sponsors?
Oh, I got Scott Duffy, helps me a lot at the track. Brett Cook, Travis Holland, Justin Brown when he's home. He's away right now. And at home, it's Brad Brady helping me all the time. And sponsors, I got Patterson Sales, huge sponsor. E&R Plumbing, huge sponsor. Carstar Miramichi, Family Convenience. Decal Queen does all my decals for me. Who else? Schooner Marine. Casey Tires sponsor me lots of tires. Had a lot of help this year for sure. It was awesome.
Now, I see he's watching in the comments, and we'll leave it with this. Mark Kingston's a two-time winner, and I want to get him on the show before we go racing on June 19th. But what's it going to take on June 19th to beat Mark Kingston? Because it seems like he's got that target on his back now with 2 bomber wins.
We'll see what happens. Basically, whatever one of us screws up, I don't want to be big-headed and say I'm going to go out there and win everything, but I'm going to try my best for sure, and I don't mind driving aggressive if I have to. But Mark's an awesome guy to race with. He won't spin you. He won't get you loose. Like, me and him ran side by side in the whole heat race. He's real clean.
I got one more for you, Johnathan.
Yep, go ahead.
You had the Wrangler style Dale Earnhardt paint scheme. The one you wrecked was kind of his 90s, early 2000s paint scheme. Is there any other Dale paint schemes you'd look to put on your car? Maybe the Taz Good Wrench car, or maybe some of the ones he had in the All-Star races?
I'll probably just stick to the Good Wrench one now. I did the Wrangler one, and there was a couple other cars showed up the same color, so I wanted to go back to the black the whole time. So I think I'll stick to that. Stickers are all ordered already, so.
There we go. We got to come up with something off the Intimidator for June 19th, I guess, for a nickname for you.
I can't wait to see it, because I'm sure you guys are going to do a great job getting that thing together. Can't wait to see the progress pictures on Facebook. Johnathan, this has been fun. Thank you for joining us. All the best, and we'll see you on June 19th, if not before.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's Johnathan Dickson, and I want to thank him for joining us this evening. Final thoughts from the crew here this evening. Dylan Langell. This was a kind of a fun and a little bit of an unexpected interview with the Oglina sisters, but it's been fun. We'll look forward to next week. Now we're sitting at home still. We're still in Nova Scotia. We're still on lockdown. So we hope to have some video from Petty. But Alex Oblinas mentioned one thing in her interview, and I don't like to mention it early in the season. It's calling for rain on Sunday, but it's a long way away, right?
Yeah, it's long weekend, but hey, you know what? Today was a bright spot. We got news in Nova Scotia that we're going to be hunkered down for a little while longer here, but hopefully that's enough to nip all the cases in the bud here so we can get back to racing. And it's fun seeing stuff get going in New Brunswick and Newfoundland. It's great to see our buddies at Eastbound Park are going to be racing this weekend too. I can't wait to watch the next event or listen to the next event, whatever is coming up here. But just great stories with the Oblinus is there and catching up with Ryan Messer. And then even with Johnathan there, I mean, we got the sides of the story from sportsman, pro stock, and then a bomber division, an old like hobby stock class pretty much, which I really hope that type of division really grows here in Nova Scotia. I know that Sydney's got plans for it coming up, but maybe that could happen like at a Valley Raceway, which kind of is already, but racing is a little expensive. There's a way we can kind of cheapen it a bit, but keep the action pretty fun on track. We need to do that here.
Absolutely. And it's been a jam-packed show with winners throughout. You can listen to us as well on your favorite podcast platform. Apple Podcast was actually added after we did that graphic, so you can go over there. We're still missing a couple of the former episodes that we did, but we will get them on there in a bit. Denver, final thoughts before we get out of here. It's a busy weekend. You're going to be busy again. Petty Raceway on Sunday. You looking forward to it?
I sure am. Hopefully that our word holds off. It's too early in the year to be dealing with that crap, but Petty's going to have a great show. Sportsman, Street Stock. I think they're both 75 lappers. Atlantic Modified Tour season opener, mini stock. Women on Wheels. It's going to be a full slate of exciting racing action with lots of New Brunswick drivers. So if you're in the area, you're going to want to check it out. And hopefully we have some good news to share in the video side of things. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be the third track to open up their season. Miramichi and 660 have set the bar pretty high, but you know that Wayne and Ellen and the whole gang of Petty always have some excitement up their sleeves. So it should be another good one.
Yeah, chatted with Wayne a little bit yesterday. They are excited to get going, so be sure to head and support them if you have your race car at Petty International Raceway. That's going to do it for us here this evening. You see all our partners on the screen. KCP has done our stickers. We have stickers available at Petty Raceway this weekend. We have some at Speedway 660 in the tech shed. I want to give Larry and Jessica a little push there. LJ Design, St. Louis Bar and Grill, a bunch of others. Want to thank Paul Strickland Jr. for being a part of this show, as he always is. Fatheads Cup Series is coming up on Bedane TV on the iRacing side. So if you want to head over there and take in some racing. But Petty Raceway this weekend, Eastbound Park this weekend. Get out to a racetrack if you're in a province that has racing, and support your local short track. So for Denver Match at Dylan Langell, want to thank Ryan Messer, Courtney, and Alexandra Oblinus in like the 5 seconds that we had Dave and Johnathan Dickson. Been a fun show. Until next time, until next Wednesday, keep the hammer down. We'll see you at the track.